Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in the state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits, only temporarily, those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has sought to clarify the circumstances surrounding the case at the Bustamante Hospital for Children who is in need of surgery for scoliosis.
Now, the surgery was delayed because of poor conditions at the hospital.
And as Jamela Maitland reports, although the child has been referred to the University Hospital of the West Indies, there's still no definitive timeline on when she'll receive the corrective procedure.
11-year-old Ajani Parchment will have to bear the discomfort of her scoliosis a while longer before she's able to live a normal childhood. Her surgery was postponed at the Bustamante Hospital for Children because the operating theater is not up to standard. It doesn't have a functioning AC unit, making it too hot for surgeries. But during a press briefing Thursday morning, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the procedure can be facilitated elsewhere.
The University Hospital of the West Indies has consented, based on discussions and with the lead clinician there, Dr. Carl Bruce, having consulted with his team at UWIC to make an operating theatre available.
The issue is the doctors who are part of a mission from the United States leave the island in 24 hours. Fighting back the tears is Dr. Robert Bradley, who heads the team. Sadly, he says it's too late.
They want to make accommodations, make the decision today to do it tomorrow. That's not right. It's not right for the patients.
The health minister declared that Ajani will do her surgery. He wasn't able to say when. It's what worries Ajani's mom. Dr. Bradley and his team performs the surgeries for free. He revealed that the team usually does between 12 and 16 corrective surgeries during their visits. This time, they were only able to do 5.
In regards to my daughter's surgery, I still don't have any clue whether it's going to be done or not.
A visibly upset Dr. Tufton describes it as a perennial problem. The multi-million-dollar high-functioning operating theaters are seemingly not functioning.
I have asked for a draft terms of reference to engage a private entity to coordinate the overall maintenance of the plant of a health facility.
CEO of the hospital, Anthony Wood.
We have 5 operating theaters. Of the 5, 2 are presently 3 works, but one of them have high condensation taking place right now. 2 actually not functional.
One has been out for how long?
many years.
And that's the other thing.
Dr. Tufton explained that a company was contracted to repair the AC in April. Another company has since been brought in, but the problem remains.
The company that supplies the service has been at it for 5 months without resolution. And then we engage another one who said they can fix it, and in fairness, were prompt to assess, but now has bureaucratic hurdles based on their own internal arrangements. And now we're stalled again for 6 more weeks.
TVJ News observed the leadership of the Southeast Regional Health Authority speaking with the senior doctors about the issues they're experiencing. We understand that surgeries like Anjone's that require more than 4 hours pose significant risk for infection. The hospital, however, says it reviews and provides treatment on a case-by-case basis. Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
Family, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. People, me angry, me mad, me cross, me miserable. But honestly, I'm going to keep my voice down and me not cuss nobody. Trust me. Because based on what me hear a while ago from the press conference about to play for you, people is nothing but hustle or go on. I think Mr. Tufton should have leave office and take Andrew Honest with you on the way out, bro. Tufton, you must leave office immediately. Leave office, Tufton. Everybody believes that they come in, people not gonna show you them hustle office, then get 300% raise, That not satisfy them, people. That not satisfying, and the man then get 300% raise, And still a galang, Tufton, the health ministry is in a shambles, but you they plan book signing tour all over seas and all them things there. Tufton, galang man. Take control, man. Galang man. Just galang man. Galang man. Galang man. Some sadars expose Tufton wickedly right now. People, me not lie you. Big time. Galang man and take control, man. Galang man. Take him with the Guan man. Guan man. Please. People, guess what I learned a while ago? I'm gonna make you hear it real quick. Big up Dr. Geddes, Dr. Bradley. Dr. Bradley, the American doctor who come out and expose people. Me say if you're PNP or Labour and nothing at all, people, this is our moment to stand up. People, me lost my father to the bad health care. My last couple friends to the bad health care. Hey, people not supposed to dead. Are dead at Jamaica. You got a hospital for a broken hand. A little 7-year-old boy end up drop out. You go there for a little circumcision. A little 11-year-old drop out. No, me see people on social media say if them sick, them now go to hospital, they rather turn a yard than dead. Me even to them I see it again when people say them now go to hospital. Jesus God. People, want me just hear from Dr. Dawes. Doctors and nurses strike today. And they are bleeding the system. They go to China, go buy cheap. The cheapest car. Dr. Dawes said he went to China himself. And when he went there himself on his personal business and check out the equipment they have in China, the Jamaican government purchased, get the cheapest. And when it comes to Jamaica, they mark it up 1,000% profit. People, you can't make that up. They are bleeding the system. That is highway robbery. Yeah? You know what I say? No, remember on this platform, me tell you say, this government here are the first to make air traffic controller strike. He make immigration workers strike for money. Police march upon this government. It never happened yet. Police have the government in a court for money. Teachers and nurses, we see all that strike people. You understand me? Even JIS worker, RGD worker, I'm a company here, I'm going to tell about the companies that make school uniform, want to quit the government. People are telling this every day almost. Me tell about the people who make Nutri products. Me tell about funeral parlor for them director come out in the paper say government owe them $100 million now. But look at now. Can you believe me when I hear from Dr. Dawes that they owe suppliers in the hospital, suppliers, government now pay suppliers. But Mr. This brother come talk about them not short of money. Mr. Tufton I say money is not the problem. While them they are firing a sign book, book tour in the panel. You know busy about nothing, Bro, go long way I go and take your brethren with you. Go long way I go, bro, and take your brethren with you. 200 go on, bro. So me now wait no longer. Make you listen to these people. This will hurt your heart. If you smoke, go light your cigarette or your weed. Go get a drink, get some water, go sit down somewhere. And make you listen to this as Jamaicans. What is going on with the healthcare? Look here. I'm going to say it again. Dr. Bradley, thank you, my brother. You did Jamaica a favor by coming out and say something, which even forced doctors to come out and strike. Because you know why the doctor them strike? Because this brother come say that that money is not the problem. So they say, oh, so why you have us working in a place like this? People, you have to buy gauze if you're a patient. Patient have to buy their own equipment. Remember, you have to carry soap, towel, bedspread, toilet paper to hospital. You have to carry everything when you're admitted in the hospital. When them a work on you, you have to buy you even own gas. If you need something, you have to buy everything. People them do surgery on you. What kind of system is that? Is that a free health care? Eh? Make you listen, people. Them not give a damn. Tufton must go and take Andrew with you. Here we go. Make you listen to these people. Hold on. We should have hold on, people. Hold on. Go to a short break. I'll be back.
Mr. Prime Minister, Minister of Health and Wellness, those of you craft this.
Yes, the pastor said, Mr. Prime Minister and the Minister of Health and Wellness. For some reason, God put it on him heart to include Tufton in it. I know. Hey, me cook listen again.
Mr. Prime Minister, Minister of Health and Wellness, those of you craft this order, I don't know what to say to you, but the Holy Ghost within me tells me that this order is working against the church, is working against the body of Christ. Mr. Prime Minister, I was watching a program last night and you declare me to be your good friend. My good friend, I'm telling you, sir, this order, God gets no glory out of it. And it's making the society worse than it ought to be. You're crippling the fountain of life that gives life to the nation. You're blocking the well. Somebody give me a chance in this house and plant this. You're blocking the well. You're stopping the fountain. Loose the church, loose the church, loose the church, loose the church, loose the church. You're destroying the foundation. And if the foundation be destroyed, what can the nation do?
People, it's a sad day. Make we listen to this. Welcome everybody on board. Producer Wayne, big up yourself, my brother. Make you hear what I go on now. Come, people. This is bad. This is bad. Wicked people. $1,000 markup.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the media, and good morning to our viewers on social media pages representing the People's National Party. My name is Nikisha Bertel. I'm the Information and Public Communication spokesperson for the People's National Party. And this morning, we've called you here to listen to some plans, some suggestions, and some issues we've identified in the health and wellness sector within the government.
Guys, can you hear good? Me want to hear if we not hear good. It nice and crisp and clear. Are you guys hearing well? Tell me in the comment section. Because I hear it already, you know. So I want you guys to hear it. Let's go. Thanks to every people. Share them, people. I want you to share this, you know. Whether you are PNP and Labour right, share this, you know. People, these are people. Me lose my father. Me lose several friends. Hey, me lose my brethren. My father trang man, you know, people. My father does have diarrhea and vomiting. At the first time I ever go to hospital. Me lose my father. Me lose one of my close brethren. The man go to hospital, the man does like him have ulcer stomach and the man does vomit blood. And one of the doctor tell him, say, the one doctor must give the man drip before him leave. And the next doctor did not give him drip. Eh? His son was right there. I pull blood for, I give blood for him father. In the hospital. The man up on the bed, I talk to everybody on the phone. The man got a hospital, no knockout, you know. My brethren went to the hospital, he was not out. He was talking to people on his phone. The man run out of gas. Because the next doctor never give him the blood what he need. The man run out of gas. I have another brethren who go down there unresponsive. Them send the man go down there unresponsive. Now, them not have no equipment down there. Them send him to an outside lab to do some check up, brain scan, right? Jugu the man on the bad road. The family have to pay ambulance and sit in people. Extra cost, you know. Jugu the man go one place, go make him do the test. Jugu, remember you're half dead when you come to hospital, your last breath. You're not supposed to live. Go away. And you hear the brother talk about it here, Dr. Dawes. And the man come back to the hospital, people, and there was nobody to read the result. You remember, you know? The family carry, remember the man half dead, you know, unresponsive. The jugu him out of the hospital, jugu the people around. When money did it, Tufton for jail, you know. Tufton and Chang for jail. Remember me always say it. We need to do a study, inquiry, in a dear time, under their reign. What happened, why them lose so much people? If you couldn't do better. How come so many people dead and who know? Let's watch this. Piss me off, man.
We noticed that there are some issues with service delivery, resource allocation, and patient care. For us in the opposition, it's about the restoration of dignity and a call for accountability. To keep the government honest, this morning, our spokesperson for health and wellness, Dr. Alfred Dawes, is joined by deputy spokesperson in the same sector, Jesse James Clark, who is also a counselor and a medical professional himself. Today, you'll notice they're dressed in black. They're sending a signal to the government that time comes and time is actually up on the care that they are supposed to be giving to the country that they're lacking in. Dr. Dawes will lead us off. He has some suggestions, and I want you to listen, stay tuned, keep your questions, and ask them at the end of the presentation. Dr. Dawes will be followed by Mr. Clark. Please listen carefully. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikisha. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Today, I ask that Jesse accompany me in wearing black because as a former president of the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, I stand in solidarity with the doctors across Jamaica who are protesting today the uncalled for blame game that is picking administrators against doctors, suppliers against the Ministry of Health in what is effectively crisis management, where we are seeing the Ministry of Health falling apart and there is a reluctance for the persons where the buck stops to accept responsibility. Now, I have to say to the hospital administrators who have for years propped up the system with whatever little budgetary support that they have had, they have to listen to the rhetoric today where it is being said that the money that they have asked for repeatedly in their budgets and have been denied year after year is not the problem. Instead, they are. The doctors who have been sitting in the moldy clinics with fungus coming from the roof tiles, the hot clinics without a working fan and AC units, who are there just so they can see the patients, and they're making that sacrifice because it is about the patients. They try to get things done. The doctors at Bustamante Hospital who have been still, in spite of the substandard conditions, trying to knock out some of the cases so that the children with surgeries that do not require a prolonged period of time in the operating theater can have their procedures done. Those very persons who have been propping up the system are now being raked across coals, and they are expected to show up for work tomorrow and put out as much as they have had in the last few years. Now, I know that in the coming months, as it has been in recent times, there will be a lot of complaints about the health sector because we are at a tipping point. And this is why you are seeing so many stories about inefficiencies, cancellations, poor experiences, people dying, lack of equipment, whether it's an ambulance or a ventilator. All of these stories are emerging on social media because just like with climate change, it has been going on for a while. And now the system has reached this breaking point. And just as how we're seeing flooding in the Sahara Desert and earthquakes all over, hurricanes, typhoons, and cyclones.
People, I want to share the live, you know. This is a normal live, you know. The brother got dash out Tufton secret in a road like a dirty jars water. You know, they wash out your jar them and you dash your water in there. Yes, I that me a tab. Boy, people. My God, people piss me, you know. Piss me off. Wait, man. Listen, the man I go down in some Tufton. I want to hear this, you know. Because I'm a PR stunt, man. He never want the doctor come out, come tell me what happened that day. Listen.
Now we are faced with what happens when a system that has been funded but defunded of the resources where they ought to go is creaking under the weight of increased utilization. That is what we're experiencing. And unfortunately, my fellow Jamaicans, the health sector is not getting better. What you're experiencing today is the beginning of it getting worse.
Jesus.
Now, as the blame game is starting and it is shifting to the suppliers who are owed money by the Ministry of Health, the administrators, and the nurses and doctors who are doing the actual work, I do not want there to be a situation where the public turns against the very people who are helping them.
No.
Instead,
hold on. We stand with the doctor, them, you know. We stand with the doctors and nurses right now. We're going to have a moment of silence. Show us we stand in solidarity with the doctors that were on strike today. A quick moment of silence, people. Thank you very much, people. That moment of silence is to stand in solidarity with the health professionals who are striking today. Oh, look here, man. It's bad enough, people. Let's continue. Listen.
Today, I want to highlight some of the root causes as to why we are experiencing this failure at multiple levels in the healthcare sector. I will start with Bustamante Hospital for Children. The promise that the child would have her surgery the next day, I said that from the same day that that could not work because it was reliant on a visiting team why that surgery could have been done. When you transfer a patient from Bustamante to the university hospital, they're going to get a bill. The surgery, the implants alone would cost about $1 million. Now, when you have a mission team coming to Jamaica, they bring all the resources, all the inputs, not just the technical expertise, but the materials to get that surgery done, absolutely free of cost to the children who need it most. When our visiting team had already left, we know that somebody has to absorb that cost. And it could not have been arranged within a day because UA has their own internal problems. Not only that, the knee-jerk reaction to transfer that child to UA ignores the fate of the 5 other children who had their scoliosis surgeries cancelled because of the events that led towards the cancellation of the child whose mother went public. So it seems as if the only justice one can have is to go public. And if you don't, then you are brushed aside and nobody looks out for you. They only look out for who they need to fix or what they need to fix to out a PR firestorm. Now, the talk about the AC issues should not have come out on the day of the cancellation, because as far back as August 26th, the Bustamante Hospital for Children was in emergency mode for all operations because of the same issues with the AC units. It was known. It was not just that the staff knew and did it. There are letters, there are emails that were sent. The Southeast Regional Health Authority knew of the issues. Attempts were made to move the surgeries to the Kingston Public Hospital. That did not work out. Attempts were made to move the surgeries to the Nuttall Hospital, but that did not work out, surprisingly, because money became an issue. This could have been avoided from even further back, because money was raised, including money from the Chase Fund, to refurbish the operating theaters at Bustamante.
Where money there?
Now, we don't know why. We are left to surmise, but rumor has it that it was not the right moment for the announcement and the PR that would be gained from just announcing the rehabilitation of the Bustamante Theatre would be lost in the media versus when it was announced later on, maybe closer to election time. These are just suppositions, but nobody knows the real reason why money was raised and the scope of work done to rehabilitate the theaters, the very theaters that are the center of this firestorm right now. But that project was cancelled.
Why?
The doctors and the staff asked that the theaters be fixed so they could do their work. Instead, they got a therapy dog and a wellness bench.
I remember the dog there.
And it just shows you the priorities of the policymakers.
Yeah.
So we are inevitably in a situation where, because of the decisions of the policymakers, crucial repairs that should have been done were neglected. And we don't know where that money is. We speak about money. We still need an update about the Shaggy and Friends Foundation.
Really?
What happened to that controversial money that was raised. We do know that the ProMac unit was never incorporated as an ICU, but instead is a fancy nursery. Another misuse of intended funds.
What?
So there is a pattern here that is emerging.
Hold on, the people. So you want to tell me, say, them blow up Shaggy money? Look how they go and forget the man money, man. Try not to support the man reputation. I remember it came out that Shaggy had a contract with Disney. I think he was doing some voiceover and some animation. And they make Shaggy look bad, like Shaggy a thief. Him own money, And what them do with the money right now? Lord Jesus Christ, people. Wanna listen? Me say, share this. Wanna share this, share this, share this. Make wish we not go see what go on with the healthcare system. We can people, everybody go in the office and hustle it. 300% raise is not enough for them. Everybody go in the office and hustle it. Why will the country go down? Go down.
And when you delve deeper, you realize that all of these patterns have root causes, and that is what is leading to the collapse of the health sector now. Now, for one, this blame game about getting new machines and they're breaking down in a short space of time.
Listen this.
It seems like it makes sense at first until you delve into what type of machines are brought in. Now, I have the privilege of going to China some time ago in a private capacity and touring some factories. And what I can tell you is this: you will have a machine that has the same casing on the outside, looks the same, but on the inside, there's a range of parts from high quality, medium to low quality parts. And as a result of that, the price point is going to vary significantly. What has happened over the years is that the cheapest quality Chinese equipment has been bought, sold to the Ministry of Health at exorbitant markups, over 1,000%. When I hear some of the prices from some of these machines, I know that they cost a tenth of what they're being resold for. Now, I'm not against capitalism, but there's a type of capitalism that is rapacious and it is sucking out money out of the Ministry of Health.
People. Who? People. You know, say a politician and a friend them are buy the equipment them, selling it back to them own country people. 1,000% profit. People, 1,000% profit, sucking out every dollar from the health ministry. Then what got prison, yeah, man? Boy, I mean, a long talking, yeah, man. A bangle man get put on people. We go listen, doctor, yeah, man.
Because we're not getting quality for the money that is being spent for a lot of these instruments. And when you bring in these instruments, there's no service contract, no maintenance, because a lot of times it's people who have no business in the medical instrumentation business. They do not have any servicing teams out here. So in no time at all, the machines break down. And then what is left is a lot of junk in hospital corridors and storerooms. And many times you have to use one part and scavenge to get a functional machine. So when we talk about equipment going down and it is the fault of the administrators for not taking care of them, this needs to be taken into consideration when we cast judgment on the people who are using the machines and who are tasked with repairing and maintaining the machines without a maintenance budget. There's also a significant conflict of interest in the procurement process, resulting in companies that are connected to the stakeholders and decision makers in the procurement process.
Hold on, man. Hold on, man. So companies were connected to politicians. Politicians make some local company like what Andrew owners make. We call them company. The local company again. I mean, shell company. Yeah, and them company that buy equipment from China, cheap ass equipment, and I sell back to your own people for 1,000% profit. Yeah, I jail no found figure, man. People not tell me, man. People not jail them. Jesus Christ. No, God Almighty. This. Let me listen. Look at this here, man. Sure.
Quality for the money that is being spent for a lot of these instruments. And when you bring in these instruments, there's no service contract, no maintenance, because a lot of times it's people who have no business in the medical instrumentation business. They do not have any servicing teams out here. So in no time at all, the machines break down. And then what is left is a lot of junk in hospital corridors and storerooms.
Damn.
And many times you have to use one part and scavenge to get a functional machine. So when we talk about equipment going down and it is the fault of the administrators for not taking care of them, this needs to be taken into consideration when we cast judgment on the people who are using the machines and who are tasked with repairing and maintaining the machines without a maintenance budget. There's also a significant conflict of interest in the procurement process, resulting in companies that are connected to the stakeholders and decision makers in the procurement process entities being awarded contracts.
Yeah.
And it is this broken procurement system that is manifesting in several ways.
Yes, sir.
It manifests in the owning of a funeral home by a councillor in the minister's constituency.
Hold on there. La 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 la. People, we hear about Archer's funeral home on social media from Spanish Town. Don't we hear about it? And it is alleged that Tufton have shares in it. I mean, I asked on this platform a couple of days ago, Mr. Tufton, come tell me if you have shares in a funeral home. Are you Mr. Grim Reaper? Are you the Grim Reaper? Me could listen to the grip. Lord Jesus, I'm going to share this. Jesus Christ. Thief! 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 Grab him! Grab him! Back him up! Back him! Thief!
Over the years is that the cheapest quality Chinese equipment has been bought, sold to the Ministry of Health at exorbitant markups, over 1,000%. When I hear some of the prices from some of these machines, I know that they cost a tenth of what they're being resold for. Now, I'm not against capitalism, but there's a type of capitalism that is rapacious and it is sucking out money out of the Ministry of Health because we're not getting quality for the money that is being spent for a lot of these instruments. And when you bring in these instruments, there's no service contract, no maintenance, because a lot of times it's people who have no business in the medical instrumentation business. They do not have any servicing teams out here. So in no time at all, the machines break down.
Hustle.
And then what is left is a lot of junk in hospital corridors and storerooms. And many times you have to use one part and scavenge to get a functional machine. So when we talk about equipment going down and it is the fault of the administrators for not taking care of them, this needs to be taken into consideration when we cast judgment on the people who are using the machines and who are tasked with repairing and maintaining the machines without a maintenance budget. There's also a significant conflict of interest in the procurement process, resulting in companies that are connected to the stakeholders and decision makers in the procurement entities being awarded contracts. And it is this broken procurement system that is manifesting in several ways. It manifests in the owning of a funeral home by a councillor in the minister's constituency, and that funeral home is getting all of the contracts in the Southeast Region Health Authority, and therefore poor people have to travel from KPH, going all the way to Spanish Town to identify and claim the bodies of their loved ones while going through the grieving process. But we hear that that whole tender process was above board. It looks away. It is a broken procurement process why an electronic health record system could go to tender for $370 million. And when all of the bidders are excluded and one party is settled upon, the contract signed with that party is not for $370 million, but $800 million.
Jesus, why? People, them are rob way, people who got jail. Remember, man? People, them are rob way. You don't hear that? Expose them, Dr. Daz. Expose them, sir. Expose them, man. You need an express conference to kaka. Look at people. How often I hear? Lord Jesus. When I hear good, whoa, them are rob the country. No, them are drain the country. No one that nothing can fix. Like everybody coming and decide to rob. They just not fix the country. That's what I said Jamaica is allowed to drop free fall. Jesus, gotta walk out prison.
Companies that are connected to the stakeholders and decision makers in the procurement entities being awarded contracts. And it is this broken procurement system that is manifesting in several ways. It manifests in the owning of a funeral home by a councillor in the minister's constituency, and that funeral home is getting all of the contracts in the Southeast Region Health Authority, and therefore poor people have to travel from KPH, going all the way to Spanish Town to identify and claim the bodies of their loved ones while going through the grieving process. But we hear that that whole tender process was above board. It looks away.
Tell me more.
It is a broken procurement process why an electronic health record system could go to tender for $370 million. And when all of the bidders are excluded and one party is settled upon, the contract signed with that party is not for $370 million, but $800 million. And it is above board. This is why a 1.5 million operating bed lasts only 3 months. When that same operating bed, if you were to buy it in China, the cost equivalent in Jamaican dollars would be $150,000. So we are seeing this rapacious form of capitalism sucking out the $140 billion out of the Ministry of Health. Whoa. And there's no value for the taxpayers' dollars. And on top of that, when you have legitimate companies providing top-tier equipment, there's no maintenance contract, no warranty. Or if there's a warranty, it is breached because there's no scheduled maintenance. If I buy a car and the dealer gives me a 3-year warranty, I have to service that car. You cannot end up in a situation where someone installs an AC unit and there is absolutely no servicing for 5 years, no cleaning for 10 years. And then when it breaks down, you're going to say that this company is negligent and you're going to fire them from a maintenance contract. That does not exist. The system is broken when it comes to maintenance. We used to have a functional HFMU that used to be tasked with maintaining all of the equipment across the island. It is just a shadow of its former self. We do not have trained biomechanical or biomedical engineers. A lot of the biomedical engineers that we have, they're short-staffed, they have no equipment, and they are being asked to fix equipment without spare parts. So when equipment are broken, it is a solution of the Ministry of Health to outsource. So when the radiology units are non-functional, everything is outsourced at exorbitant market rates, not even with a negotiation to say, I'm giving you business, what can you take off this for me? But the taxpayers are asked to foot the bills of these outsourced radiological investigations.
Thief! 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 Back him up! Back him up! Hold him! Hold him! Thief! Back him up! You catch him! Hold him, people! Thief!
I hear man talk all kind of lie. Oh, 20 million and 28 million. Lie! Me not take no salary increase. So my salary is what it was before. And I tell you something, I feel like just keep back to. Because he's a proud man, you know. Me don't like people tell lie for me.
So if that go on there, so the police carry them where them a buy and they bust them. Them a make more kickback off it then. So they go buy the cheap bus, them a China down. And come to Jamaica and mark them up same way. This a government, we know how them buy them a vehicle for we. The police bike them, they bust them. You want them to say same thing them go do? Buy them cheap and mark them up on them owner people. I swear to God, people will start going to jail.
And because it creates another bottleneck with the ambulance system transporting patients to these private facilities, we do not have a functioning emergency medical service, and patients have to wait for weeks at a time sometimes before they can get an ambulance to take them to a private facility for their investigation. It is also the tendency for the Ministry of Health to outsource every possible thing that they can. And this is why when we have seen the final acknowledgement that maintenance is a problem, the solution is to outsource maintenance to private entities rather than to build the capacity of the Ministry of Health. So the $140 billion has really gone into the ministry and has just flowed right back out through a revolving door where the services are provided without good value for money, when faulty equipment, substandard equipment are provided at 1,000% markups at times, when good quality equipment are provided, but no maintenance contracts are in place, so they are bound to go bad. That is what is happening right now. And this is why we are at a tipping point in our health service.
Jesus.
And this is because the useful life of a lot of these equipment is here. So we're going to have more equipment breaking down. And because we don't have a maintenance unit, we're going to start going negative.
Jesus, that's bad. People, remember say $600 billion has gone missing or unaccounted for from out of Tufton ministry. 900 billion from Flaval ministry, and the rest from the Prime Minister office himself. Remember, me tell you guys that the $21 billion down at Cornwall Regional Hospital, me tell you say, if you look good, you'll find such man name. They're close to that, the money they too. The whole of them are work power with people. Them just have, oh, Jesus Christ.
In terms of the numbers that we have. Because the procurement process is broken, we're going to continue to have the Ministry of Health and taxpayers paying exorbitant prices for inferior quality equipment, oftentimes complicated by conflicts of interest in those who decide to buy that equipment without the input of the end users who are going to be using it.
Politician.
We are also at a tipping point because suppliers are not taking credit notes. They're not taking letters of commitment from the Ministry of Health because they're just not being paid.
Yeah.
And this is why it is a surprise to many who are owed millions of dollars to hear that there is no money problem at the Ministry of Health. The suppliers are surprised. The patients who are asked to buy the stitches that are needed to perform the surgeries, the meshes that are needed to perform the surgeries, the orthopedic patients who, when they take a commitment letter to one of the companies that provides implants, screws, plates, and so on, they are told that they are not honoring those letters of commitment because the Ministry of Health does not pay them, and they cannot afford to go bankrupt because the ministry that doesn't have a money problem does not pay its debts.
Una hear what we are hearing? Una hear what we are here? We spend the most. The financial superpower of the Caribbean. Them boy hijack the country and thief 300% raise. Who don't give back that raise there? Let's listen. Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. No, sir. What is we are here? Yeah? No. This I need crowd. Make me back you up just a little.
Good quality equipment are provided, but no maintenance contracts are in place, so they are bound to go bad. That is what is happening right now, and this is why we are at a tipping point in our health service. And this is because the useful life of a lot of these equipment is here. So we're going to have more equipment breaking down, and because we don't have a maintenance unit, we're going to start going negative in terms of the numbers that we have. And because the procurement process is broken, we're going to continue to have the Ministry of Health and taxpayers paying exorbitant prices for inferior quality equipment, oftentimes complicated by conflicts of interest in those who decide to buy that equipment without the input of the end users who are going to be using it. We are also at a tipping point because suppliers are not taking credit notes. They're not taking letters of commitment from the Ministry of Health because they're just not being paid.
Wow.
And this is why it is a surprise to many who are owed millions of dollars to hear that there is no money problem at the Ministry of Health. The suppliers are surprised. The patients who are asked to buy the stitches that are needed to perform the surgeries, the meshes that are needed to perform the surgeries, the orthopedic patients who, when they take a commitment letter to one of the companies that provides implants, screws, plates, and so on, they are told that they are not honoring those letters of commitment because Ministry of Health does not pay them, and they cannot afford to go bankrupt because the ministry that doesn't have a money problem does not pay its debts. The one place we can say that we have seen a significant spend is marketing. And the marketing budget has gone up, while the maintenance budget has gone
down. Marketing, PR stunt. PR. That's how them spend the money, you know. How many times we tell it up on this platform? PR. Hey.
down. But it has been masked, wrapped in layers, and called health promotion. It is why, instead of promoting healthy eating with the Ministry of Agriculture, we have a lot of billboards across the island. It is why, instead of developing primary care, more screening for cancers, mammograms in every parish, colonoscopies so that you pick up colon cancers or polyps at an early stage before they are advanced.
Who own them billboard? And then the politician again? Who own the billboard, the company for the marketing? Who own those billboards where I spend money on? A politician again? Jesus.
As is the case in 70% of the time. It is why all of 90% of breast cancers in Jamaica present with a lump when it could have been found on a mammogram and treated with better results. That is what we need to fix. That is what we have committed to fixing. Prime Minister Mark Golden has pledged that whatever resources it takes to fix health, he will find it. Whatever legislation needs to be passed to fix health, to reform the structure, it will be done. Because as it is right now, we first have to arrest the free fall of the healthcare system before we can build it up into something that gives the users dignity when they get quality care. And that is where we need to go. But first, we must stop this covering up, this blame shifting, and the powers that be now ought to focus on repairing the damaged relationships between themselves and the doctors, the administrators, the nurses, and even patients who have been blamed for their part in this, and see how they can all sit down and work together to stop this slide. Because as I said, we are at the tipping point. Thank you.
Mighty God.
Good afternoon, everyone. My issue, I'll be focusing on primary health care in Jamaica. One of the reasons why we have our hospitals overflowing with persons suffering from chronic non-communicable diseases is because we have a failing primary healthcare system. So for example, you have a small clinic up in Mavis Bank, a nice clinic, but out of the 5 dental chairs that are there, only 2 is working. And they're in need of a dentist too as well, to routinely pass through the community to offer services to the community, to that section of the island. And this is just one example, but it can be replicated it is being replicated in several parts of the island, where you have health centers that are not properly equipped to deal with basic things. For example, there's the same health center by Mavis Bank. It does not have a suctioning machine for the dentist to use. It doesn't have an x-ray machine for the dentist to use. So we are calling on the minister to spend some money on primary health care and to ensure that we have the mobile unit that the opposition asks for. We do not want to, while we believe that the Know Your Numbers campaign, it is good. But however, it is currently working as a pop-up health fair, and we do not want a pop-up health fair. What we want are clinics. So you want to use a mobile unit to get to the most remote parts of Jamaica and in sections or in communities where you have high prevalences of certain non-communicable diseases, where they can do that proper health promotion and educating our our population about how to manage and to prevent these non-communicable diseases. So we are calling on the minister to beef up his support to the primary healthcare and the mobile units especially, because that is going to be critical for us to fight our high rates of non-communicable diseases. Also, I share the same sentiments with Dr. Dawes in terms of these public-private partnerships. It is very unfortunate and it's unsafe for your patients to be moving them around when they are critically ill to private entities to get tests done, when you can just simply service or buy the machines that are needed to treat these patients inside the hospital. I also would like to ask a question. Do we really have free healthcare? Because when you turn up to these health facilities or in the hospitals, you are denied access to a lot of things because they're either not working or they're not available. So you have to ask the question if we really and truly have free healthcare. And as Dr. Dawes said earlier, patients are being asked to purchase the different parts that they need for surgeries. So we have to put these questions to the minister and ask him, especially since money is not an issue, why he hasn't been doing what he's supposed to be doing over his tenure, almost 8 years now, in healthcare. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, if you wish to pose a question to either Dr. Dawes or to Jesse James Clark, please do so by indicating if you're in the room, or if you're online, please use the raise hand icon and we'll identify you and have you pose the question to the respective person.
Like up the live, share the live, people. Country broke, and then take 300% raise. No road not fixed. Courthouse, them do have toilet, can people and do the courthouse.
Good afternoon, Safrana, Small from the Gleaner. Dr. Dawes, the minister announced a maintenance policy. I believe it came into effect in April this year. Are you saying that this policy has not been effective at all? You haven't seen it being working?
No.
Any maintenance policy that is going to be reasonably acceptable must have, as a part of the reform of maintenance, training. You have to train biomedical engineers. You have to have people who are trained to fix the machines, and we have to have parts in store. There is no preventative maintenance schedule. There is no increase in the maintenance budgets for the different health facilities. We have not seen where there's a move towards regular maintenance of preventative maintenance of machines. All that is happening is that maintenance is trying to fix whatever is broken. So it is literally chasing your tail, because a lot of times these equipment, it doesn't make any sense to try to repair them. Because as I said, they're inferior quality machines that were chosen for the best value for money. Best value or the cheapest of the lot in the warehouses in China. So a comprehensive maintenance plan must include training, increasing the core of maintenance engineers, stocking parts, as well as going through all of the contracts that have been signed and make sure that you sign warranties and preventative maintenance contracts with the supplying entities. And if an entity just does not have that footprint locally, then they just don't meet the qualifying process for the bid. It's as simple as that. There are just too many hustlers who are going to China and buying some equipment, putting big markups on them coming down, and they don't know how to fix them. So I don't buy this, that there is a maintenance policy that is in place. The HFMU is still gutted. There has been no significant increase in the cadre of biomedical engineers, and the maintenance budgets across the regions have not increased that significantly to deal with the challenges that we are experiencing today.
There's a question for you online. It has to do with procurement transparency. Dr. Dawes, can you provide examples of how conflicts of interest have influenced equipment procurement? How widespread is the issue in the healthcare system?
Well, I'm not going to speak to examples because it will betray my confidential sources, but I can tell you that it goes across the entire length and breadth of Jamaica. And what will happen is that a doctor or a group of doctors will say, this is the equipment that we need to provide our services. They send off those requirements, it goes up to somewhere, and then it comes back down. It's signed off on already, they dispute it, and then what shows up is a machine that is completely incompatible with what they ordered. And a lot of times, it's a machine that is far more expensive. Or they may choose a machine to say, all right, this is the best value. It's not the $20 million one, but it's the $14 million one that gives you close enough functionality as a $20 million machine. But it is way better than the $10 million machine. But what comes is a $20 million machine. And that is where the value changes significantly between the 14 and 20 million. And nobody can account for why the $6 million difference was chosen. You know, it doesn't make any sense. And I mean, I have mentioned that there are some very suspicious instances where procurement is above board, but it looks funny. And one of them is the elimination of all of the bidders for the electronic health records contract for $370 million. And then an $800 million contract is signed with the preferred bidder. Now, how did that change? When you have an $800 million call for tender, it is a different caliber of bidders that you're going to get compared to a $370 million contract. So if it was up scoped to 800 million, it should have gone back to the tender process. That never happened. We still do not know why only one funeral home got all the contracts in Kingston when there were several options. Now, there are a lot of people who don't want to go on record because they still do a lot of business with the government and they are terribly afraid of victimization, or they have a lot of money that is owed to them by government and it is being held over them to say that they must fall in line if they want to get paid.
Damn.
So they're not going to come out. But I can tell you that there are certain institutions that will invite the probe of the Auditor General or one of those entities to look at the books and look at the procurement process. Because there are some companies out there that are connected through a network of shell companies here and overseas, where the beneficial owners are decision makers.
Damn.
There's a question from Mahiri Stewart from Nationwide. Dr. Dawes, you highlighted, outside of the main topic for today's presser, your worry for chronic or non-communicable illness detection in Jamaica. Could you expound on your worry where this is concerned?
Cancer rates are going up. And it's not just that cancer rates are going up because we have an aging population. We're just not screening. And it's always better to screen it than to feel it. But when you look at, say, colon cancer, and I'm personally very passionate about colon cancer, 70% of colon cancers in Jamaica are diagnosed when they're advanced disease, meaning that it has started to go outside of the colon. The death rate for those cancers is 50% or less survival at 5 years versus 95% survival if you catch it early and 100% if you catch a polyp before it turns into a cancer. But unfortunately, we're not screening for blood in the stool, and what is happening is that patients present with obvious bleeding, which is a sign of cancer, to the hospitals, and they're getting a colonoscopy date a year later. Now, if they can't come up with the money to go private, they're going to wait a year, then they must be diagnosed with advanced cancer.
People, hog and goat, then treat you like, you know, hog and goat. I'll be right back after the short break.
That is why we did something like the reverse tax credit. Never before in Jamaica's history, where the government is giving back to people who earn less than $3 million per year. Never before happened. That's a way in which we are making sure that the dividends of the good economic management reaches to the people. Yes, good economic management can yam.
studying heart approximately $150 each month to help them with the bus fare and help them with the lunch money. So nobody has any excuse not to go to school to learn a skill, because you're getting help with the bus fare and help with the lunch money as well. If that is not transformational, I don't know what is. So if that is not transformational, I don't know what is. So
Has to be. When you don't have working mammograms, I think only recently we got 2 working mammograms. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I could go on forever about it. We have only 2 working mammograms in the public health system.
Damn.
And as a result, 90% of all breast cancers in Jamaica are felt with a lung.
Damn.
Now, ladies, if you have a lung, it means that you have had cancer for over a year.
Jesus.
So it is always better. And this is a lung that causes cancer. Let me clarify. But if you have cancer over a year, 18 months, when it could have been picked up with a mammogram, versus when you finally feel it and go to the doctor, there's a massive difference in outcomes in terms of the morbidity, the death rate, the cost of treatment, and of course the complications from the treatment. So when we talk about screening, it is not just a matter of checking your blood pressure and checking your sugar. That's fine. But the number one risk factor for cancer in Jamaica and worldwide is bad luck. You could eat right, you could exercise, but one of those cancer cells that you're producing now, as we speak, invades the immune system, and that is what leads to cancer. And we are seeing cancers in younger and younger men and women. And we are not doing anything at all to have a national screening program for breast cancer. We do all of the pink runs and smile for the cameras in October. And for the next 11 months, there is no attention paid to screening for breast cancer. Prostate cancer was last month. Hardly anybody knew anything about Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. It's the number one cancer in Jamaica. And more men die from prostate cancer than any other cancer, more than women die from breast cancer and colon cancer put together.
Yeah.
So we are dealing with not just an aging population, but the younger people are getting cancers. So we need to be screening more. And instead, we are putting up billboards talking about eat your fruits and vegetables instead of pumping that money into primary care, as Jesse said, where it will have the greatest impact, where when you discover the high blood pressures, you get treatment for the high blood pressures, so you don't end up being one of the 7,000 stroke victims annually, where half of people with diabetes don't know that they have diabetes, and they never get screened to pick it up, where prostate cancer presents in too many cases with back pain because the cancer has spread to the back. So we need to do better as a country. And we know, because the epidemiology unit collects all of this data. This is not stuff I'm making up. This is stuff coming out of the Ministry of Health. So it's a policy decision of where you allocate the resources. And that is what is the issue right now, why I have no confidence that the Ministry of Health, given its current policy direction, can address the ills that are affecting Jamaicans.
Yeah.
Another question for you online, Dr. Dawes. The health minister recently blasted the management of Bustamante following the fallout and comments from the U.S. mission that visited Jamaica recently. Is the overall management of Bustamante not the purview of the minister? If not, what role is the minister supposed to play in the management of our hospitals, and what will a minister under PNP administration do differently?
We know where the buck stops. If you build in accountability systems, nobody can tell you that something happened and you don't know about it, or they can't be held accountable. So I don't subscribe to this, it's the management fault. I mean, I even heard that it is the doctor's fault for being reluctant to transfer the patient. Otherwise, they would feel inadequate. Look, I know these doctors at Bustamante. Some of them are stalwarts, giants in the medical field. I was trained at Bustamante, and I know the caliber of doctors, and it has nothing to do with ego, why a lot of times patients can't leave an institution. Sometimes, at one time when I was at SAP, I tried to transfer a patient, and the doctor said, "Hey, Dawes, it's better you keep the patient there because at least you will look after them. Right now, we don't have any space at all. You're gonna get stuck in a corner in A&E." And sometimes that is what happens. The receiving hospitals can't manage the patients because they're overcrowded. The other day, you will stop taking patients. KPH is constantly overcrowded. So the receiving hospitals can't accept the patients. And that is what happens a lot of the times. Or sometimes the patient may be too unstable. So I don't buy that about the doctors, and I certainly don't buy it about the administrators. What I would love to be answered is why is it that that theater renovation project sponsored by Chase and other entities was cancelled?
The final question for you, Dr. Dawes, and it also comes from online. It says doctors are reportedly protesting today. What message would you like to convey to the medical professionals participating in this protest, to the government in light of their concerns, and to the patients affected by this action?
I'm often reminded by those who hear me talking now about the quality of healthcare that 9 years ago, as president of the JMDA, I was protesting about conditions in the healthcare sector. Their spin on it is that I should not be talking now because I was talking then and the conditions are better now. But I think it speaks to my commitment, whether or not I'm protesting against PNP or GLP, because of the passion inculcated in me by my upbringing, that I am in a position to advocate for better healthcare, and I'm going to do it wherever I sit, in whatever office. And so as a result of that, I am standing in solidarity with the doctors who are protesting today, and I'm doing so by wearing black, and I'm saying today to all Jamaicans, support your medical teams that are advocating on your behalf, because they have been for far too long given basket to carry water. There could have been some debate about the effects of austerity 9 years ago. But if, as we're hearing, money is no longer a problem, why do we have conditions where patients are still being asked to buy the equipment for their surgeries? Why do we still have mold in theaters? Why do we have broken ACs, broken elevators? Why is it that cancer screening is down and cancer rates are up? Something has to give. And if the doctors are protesting, I would say that all Jamaica needs to stand with them right now, because politics aside, it is your health that is at risk here today.
That brings us to the end of the press conference. Thank you everyone for joining us. We've outlined the pressing concerns around procurement practices, equipment maintenance, and the government's current approach to healthcare management. Dr. Dawes has shared solutions aimed at ensuring accountability, improving quality, and providing Jamaicans with the reliable care they deserve. Stay connected with us on our social media pages at Jamaica PNP, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Mighty God, guys, when you hear what me I hear, people who hear me I hear, that be hustling I go on. No country can run so. No country can run so. So if I saw them around the medical, what to the Ministry of National Security money? What the money allocated for agriculture and education? Them boy are thief money from everywhere, people. I jail them for go. Tell me what you think about this video, people. Because Dr. Dawes tell we a lot. Him tell me say the man them buy the old cheapest medical equipment from China. And it seems as if a politician themselves are hustler off of it. And them are charge 1,000% profit the market up to. You can't make that up. Dr. Dawes say, one, him got China himself go look on the equipment them. So when they look at the equipment them and them see the prices. Bring them come to Jamaica. So the procurement people, it seems as if some politician get 300% raise, you know. Them boy are hustle everything, the people. People them are hustling country, you know. Who are got jail for this? Me no know long talking. A prison man for start. Yo, Prime Minister in the office can declare an asset. Him is up for investigation for illicit enrichment and tax fraud and all type of stuff. And they might try fight and mash up Auditor General attack about we must dismantle the Integrity Commission. The whole bunch of them are crook, you know. You know, it look like the whole bunch of them are Liberal Party are crook. You like a one big dirty bus. Like a one big dirty bus of thieves. Believe me, that's what they look like to call us. One big dirty bus, a crook. You can't make this up. So Tufton, him never want nobody to come talk about what happened. Did a day. But thanks to the doctor, the American doctor, who came out and talked. Because Dr. Dawes himself probably wouldn't come tell you all these things today if that didn't happen. Yeah. So that looked like it give Dr. Dawes some balls to come say what we need to hear. Don't it, people? It's bad. It's bad, people. It's bad. Women in the war going with the Liberal Party, you know. Them not see say the party a mash up the country. Andrew owners a mash up the party. Andrew owners a mash up the country. People, watch this here.
You, the two daughters of Colonel Charles, Uno two is on a campaign for mash up the party because you endorse some jankro who no mean the party no good and if you stop it.
Brother Chopper, how about you, bro? No, people. How about the Chopper, John? How about the Charles them doing? What Brother Charles two daughters doing? No, man, look watch you again.
You, the two daughters of Colonel Charles, Uno two is on a campaign for mash up the party because you endorse some jankro who no mean the party no good and if you stop it.
I don't know if you say about that more than us laugh. You know? Me need a little laugh after the sad video, yeah. Lord God. Colonel Charles, two daughter, Chopper John Dash. Chopper, what going over there? How what about do? They might fight against such man, they want to squeeze him out. Eh? I squeeze him and squeeze out such man. Eh? But he remarked all enough to say about the healthcare system.
The issue of how the budget for health is being spent is a real issue for us because what is happening now is that the government is on a major spending binge of expansion of various hospital facilities and so on. And we know from experience that that is a problem in terms of corruption because if you look at Cornell Regional Hospital, which is a major hospital in Western Jamaica, that was supposed to be renovated at a cost of $2 billion. And how many years later, 6 years later, it still can't finish and the budget gone over $20 billion. Yeah, and you know, and there's been no accountability for that. None.
So you can imagine what going at Cornwall Regional Hospital, people. And Mark Golden that talking, I think when he came to Florida that. And the diaspora they hear their voice, oh, hear the sound and talk about Cornwall Regional Hospital. That's from when him compare, you know. The PNP have a problem with all the budget, all this deliberate spending. But we'll listen to Mark Golden one more time. And listen when him talk about Cornwall Regional Hospital. Listen to the crowd. I find him there, you know. And you can't, so foreign people stay. Jamaica are foreign, they turn foreigner too. When certain point hit, nobody not stay quiet. They like, huh? Yeah. Listen.
The issue of how the budget for health is being spent is a real issue for us because what is happening now is that the government is on a major spending binge of expansion of various hospital facilities and so on. And we know from experience that that is a problem in terms of corruption because if you look at Cornell Regional Hospital, which is a major hospital in Western Jamaica, that was supposed to be renovated at a cost of $2 billion. And how many years later, 6 years later, still can't finish, and the budget gone over $20 billion. Yeah, and and there's been no accountability for that. None.
So on you are going, people. So even when Mark Golden copia from them time they might talk about it. You understand me? So like a pure thief we have in our office. I walk our prison, boy. I walk our prison. I walk our prison, people. No man, they not no heart. They man mash up healthcare, outsource everything to them friend. We have these outside labs. People them no love we. The man my hustle. Tufton to step down and take Andrew honest with you. Galang where I go. And nobody in the Labour Party if he say stop. Nobody. Eh? Nobody Prime Minister. You can imagine if a them a thing I go on. Can you imagine now a Cornwall regional hospital they go from 2 point something billion to $21 billion. Now you see what I go on. Now you see what I go on. So it seems as if politicians got China themselves go buy equipment and sell back to the healthcare. And the profit, $1,000, 1,000% profit. People can't make that up. They man them not love their country. They go see we as some money making as a product. Politicians see we as product people. I tell you all the time on this platform, The man them mark up the stuff, people. Who does that? So may I ask now, the boss is them. The JUTC boss what them have. Are the same thing they do upon them too? Mark them up. How about the police car and police bikes? Are the same thing they do too? Politicians have name some food off the bus and everything are coming. Why? A prison of man for God people. Tell them what you think in the comment section about this video. My name is Jamaican Carlos, people. Must I tell you, it's a pleasure being here. Thank you so much. Guys, it's bad. It's bad, people. As usual, I am a student in a guys' class. Please make sure your comments make sense in every sentence. If for the first time on the platform, yeah, good. And hit the subscribe button and stay at home for great videos, great contents over here, Yeah, man, it's all about country. And a PNP page depend and a Labour page depend. I don't like them. I don't like politicians. Never 2x4 ready to beat any man to the country. Thank you so much, my gentle people. I'm out.
Trace the DNA of SSL for me. Can you?
Well, one of the biggest contributor to the financial meltdown was the Eagle Group. Yeah? SSL was formerly what we call Paul Chenyoung and Company. That was the stockbroking arm of the Eagle Group. You with me? Yeah, the man who used to run SSL, Mr. Croft Kerry, he was the man who was running Paul Chenyoung and Company, the stockbroking arm of the Eagle Group. So that's where it came from. They went down with 14 billion and change for the taxpayer.
That is in the FinSac era.
40 billion FinSac money that we're talking about. They to them amount was $14 billion.
14 million.
Billion.
And if we equate that today to today's money,
that would be like 50 billion now.
Oh, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Real money we're talking about, because back in the day, the dollar was better valued.
Yeah, man.
So the DNA of SSL come from down there, sir.
Yeah, man, from the Eagle Group.
The bloodline.
Yeah, man.
We're in strange times in Jamaica. We're living in strange times. Strange times because interesting behavior is rewarded. So, for example, if you're a police officer and you have ambition and you want to turn a senior superintendent of police, you think those who out there are face down bad man, the dog-hearted gunman, the man criminal, they would be rewarded with promotion. You think it's those who are investigating crime, putting tight cases together and putting criminals behind bars would be rewarded. But it seems the fastest way to turn SSP is to work with a friendly media host for a few years, get transferred to the GSCF, and you're catapulted from district constable to senior superintendent in a couple years.
Take up your lazy ass. Take up your lazy ass. Go up there. You're gonna make the PNP first, you damn stupid.
That is why we did something like the reverse tax credit. Never before in Jamaica's history, where the government is giving back to people who earn less than $3 million per year. Never before happened. That's a way in which we are making sure that the dividends of the good economic management reaches to the people. Yes, good economic management can yam.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame. What a travesty. Calls for us to think and think deep.
10 years after, former Prime Minister Bruce Golding declared that he would not have gays in his cabinet.
Do you in the future want to live in a Jamaica where a gay man or a gay woman can be in the cabinet?
Sure, they can be in the cabinet, not mine.
Well, they can't be in yours.
Not mine.
No, but do you think
his successor, Andrew Michael Holness, has suggested that he would have no problems with homosexuals in his executive. Golding's statement a decade ago was made during an interview on BBC Hard Talk.
They live in Jamaica where they can be and they should be, and it would be entirely natural for them to be so.
I do not know that that is necessarily the direction in which I want my country to go. Holness' comment came in response to a question during his address to members of the Jamaica diaspora in Brussels on Sunday.
Homosexuality is not a crime. As far as I know, it's not a crime. However, one of our former Prime Ministers, Mr. Bruce Golding, said on Hard Talk that he will have no gays in his cabinet, and it went on to make Jamaica seem to be more of a homophobic nation than probably it actually is. Would you reiterate those words today, or
absolutely not? No. It's not. Firstly, it's not my business. Neither is it my interest to, and I don't. Whatever is in my discretion to distribute political. A person's sexuality, sexual orientation is not a criteria for the use of my discretion.
Mr. Prime Minister, Minister of Health and Wellness, those of you who craft this order, I don't know what to say to you, but the Holy Ghost within me tells me that this order is working against the church, is working against the body of Christ. Mr. Prime Minister, I was watching a program last night and you declare me to be your good friend. My good friend, I'm telling you, sir, this order, God gets no glory out of it. And it's making the society worse than it ought to be. You're crippling the fountain of life that gives life to the nation. You're blocking the well. Somebody give me a chance in this house and plant this. You're blocking the well. You're stopping the fountain. Loose the church, loose the church, loose the church, loose the church, loose the church. You're destroying the foundation. And if the foundation be destroyed, what can the nation do?